Welcome to the Warband, a World of Warcraft podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Swaglock, and with me, as always, your favorite boomkin, the Druid Balance Master, right? The bird of the land, Chicken. Dude, Chicken, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. What's going on?
Doing well. You want to give us your weekly update on Balance Druids and what your experiences are in the game with them?
Apparently, they're pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, you play one, right? That's why you're called Chicken?
Dude, I tried. I tried to own it. I tried to do it. I just couldn't get behind it. Balance was just one of those things like, okay, Balance. People that play Balance Druid, nothing against you, but I don't know how you do it. Like, the class just did not make sense to me whatsoever. Like, it's weird, but like that class just did not make sense to me whatsoever. Like, there's just too many things, what ifs, like, and maybe it's because I just didn't care enough. Maybe it's because I tried it as like a meme and then I was like, oh man, like this is more than I want to do for a meme. Maybe I didn't give it a fair shot. Maybe I just need to do it again. But to me, it was just, there was just a lot of moving pieces and it just didn't add up for me. I just, give me my Frost Mage. I'll take that.
Frost Mage or Frost DK. I think regardless,
I meant for like a caster.
Regardless of what class, I guess you like that Frost spec.
Yeah. I mean, I just when I play Mage,
you like icy things, cold things. Is that because you have a heart of ice?
Well, oh my gosh. That was kind of a meme too, though, because when I started playing Mage for Mop Remix, that was a meme of like, oh, I'm gonna play Frost, guys, and everyone was like, oh, you're gonna play Frost DK. Oh no, I'm playing Frost Mage, baby.
That's true. That
was a meme, and yeah, Frost is my go-to caster.
That's awesome.
But enough said. This is Warcraft talk.
Yeah. At least we're talking about Warcraft. At least we're talking about Warcraft this time. We've started a little off topic in the past. What was I going to say, though, about classes, specs, complicated? Oh, I remember now. Sorry, I had to get my train of thought going. So I'm raiding this week, right? Like, we were raiding. We got to Dimensius. Didn't get him down. We made very little progress on Dimensius. Phase 1 is hard, dude. Phase 1 is a hard phase, which we'll get him, by the way. Our guild will absolutely get him, but it's going to take another week. Maybe 2. We'll see what happens. I like a long... maybe I'm just being hopeful. I like a longer AOTC prog, because to me, it's just like, it's fun having everybody together. It's fun slowly learning to fight. I don't love being like, wow, yeah, I've been hyped so much for the new raid to come out, and then we one-shot every boss, and now we're done. Right? Like, that to me is like not...
Yeah.
That's not fun. I like the prog. I know I probably at some point should try Mythic. I'm hoping we try Mythic after we get Dimensius down. We might have the momentum this time. We might actually have the momentum this time, which will be fun.
That'd be great.
Yeah. I know some people don't want to, but we have enough still currently that we might be able to pull that off, even missing like a few of our current players who are raiding with us. So that would be great. However, reason why I say all that, we were talking about like playing different classes and making sense or not making sense, being too complicated, etc. And I've been playing Shaman, Resto Shaman, specifically for raid. And I've been using the Whispering Waves build. And last night we had one of our bench healers pop in and heal with us. And he was playing Prez. Oh gosh, he was playing Prez when we cleared normal. And I guess for some reason he wanted to go Shaman. I think he's more familiar with Shaman. So we went Shaman, and he was using like a chain heal build or something. And he whispers to me, he's like, "Yo, are you using Whispering Waves?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I've been using for like every fight." I'm not fancy enough to change my build too much on fight to fight, because like I'm spending the whole freaking raid just learning how to do this one thing well. So I'm just gonna do one thing, right? I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna do it well. And he's like asking me about the rotation. He's like, I'm trying to read up on it. Is it literally just spamming Healing Wave and Riptide? And I was like, Yep. It's just two spells, and then slam the Ancestral Swiftness or whatever it's called in there, right? When you can, and that's pretty much the whole build, right? I guess it's 4. Okay, 4 spells, right? Because you want to keep Cloudburst in there, but then you're really just like keeping Riptide up, and then anytime you're not casting Riptide, you're just casting Healing Wave, Whether or not you need to cast a healing wave or not, you're just casting healing wave. You can't run out of mana on it. Dude, I'm pretty sure I'm ending boss fights at like 90% mana. And
Dang,
I'm
that's
just
kinda nuts.
spamming. I'm just spamming the whole time. Because I'm not using chain heal. So I'm not like actually using my like the spell that's designed to be healing intensive for shaman or mana intensive for shaman. I'm just not touching. So like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if this build does, but some builds will even have Riptide give you mana back. So I'd have to check on that. But I got like 3 Riptides that can stack up. I got Healing Wave that I'm just spamming on repeat. It's like, it feels pretty good, and I'm keeping up. Last week, I remember on the podcast, I think I was on the podcast last week, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was saying that I wasn't doing super well, and I was like kind of like feeling down because I don't know, man. I'm an officer in the guild, so like unspokenly, I'm pretty much guaranteed a spot on the raid team so long as like I'm not just dying at the start of every fight, right?
You're not like straight butt.
Yeah, but with that said, though, I don't want to feel like I'm only on the raid team because I'm an officer, right? Like
Yeah.
I want to be there
it.
because I'm like helpful. And so I think last night I was finishing up fights and pulls. I was like top or second healer, and so that felt pretty good. I'm okay with that, right? Out of the 5 people, number 1 or number 2 has me pretty happy. Last time I was like number 4 every pull, so I was feeling it.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm looking over your logs just as a like a nosy boy, you know. Yeah, they look pretty good, dude. Yeah, it looks like you guys are doing pretty good. My question is, you know, historically we've always tried to push Mythic as a guild, and I think we were semi-successful one time, and I feel like that momentum would have carried if it wouldn't have been for like taking 2 weeks off. And now you guys have like a correction in place for that, right? Like you're like, oh, okay, we have something in place if this were to happen that we wouldn't lose that momentum, right?
Yeah, well, because our best attempt was, and you were there for it. I think we went in and we cleared out like 3 bosses in the first week.
3, yep.
Which was awesome. Maybe too easy.
Yeah,
maybe
dude,
kind of a little disappointing.
Yeah, we had really good momentum.
Clear out 3 bosses, and then our raid leader got like really sick for 2 weeks. Like had to go to hospital and everything, right? And so we just kind of like put it on hiatus, and we're like, okay, we'll come back. But by the time we came back, people like mentally moved on. That you break the habit, right? So we've had that. But then the other thing we've had is like we have a good handful of players in our guild. And there's no shame to this, by the way. Like if this is how you play the game, if you're like, oh, I do the same thing with my guild, totally fine, man. You know, World of Warcraft is a game you're supposed to play however you want. You're not really supposed to do what other people want. But we do have people who are excited to push for AOTC, but that's all they want. Like whether it's because they just want the achievement or because once they've done it, they're like, okay, that's as far into the raiding content that I want to go. I want to get back to M+, or I just want to go do some delves or something, whatever the case is. You know, we do have a handful of players that are like that. So the hope is right now we have 25 that we're raiding with, right? So we have 25 that we're raiding with, and the hope is that we can finish Dimensius with all 25. We might have to cut down to 20, but we're really hoping not to. We're hoping to run in with 25 to Dimensius.
Yeah.
And we can get Dimensius with 25 people. That means now we have our 25 plus the current bench that we have, because we have a few people on bench, that we could be like, okay, we can make a 20-man Mythic raid team with a couple extras as needed, which would be fantastic. The thing, though, that, like, some people... and I know some people are like, well, if you cut down, right, like, just cut down the people that you know aren't going to want to go into Mythic. And my answer to that would be like, yeah, that's the easy route. And honestly, part of me wants to do that. Like, part of me wants to be like, okay, well, if we cut down, only take the people that want to progress into Mythic afterwards. Otherwise, we're hurting ourselves, right? Like, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and we're going, oh, we're intentionally making a team of people who will just abandon us as soon as we're done this next goal. But the truth is like, we have to look at it not as the long-term goal of going to Mythic, but as the, like, what did people join our raid team for, right? And they weren't joining our raid team to prog Mythic. They're joining our raid team to get complete AOTC, right? Or at least to, like, attempt at AOTC. And so I think it's not necessarily unfair, but I think it is I don't even know what to say. I think it would be poor character for sure. I think it would be
Poor
poor
character. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's a good bet.
if we turned around and were like, hey, you know how like you guys all signed up to like Prague Heroic? Well, guess what? If you're not in for Mythic, then you're out, right? That feels unfair. That feels like I'm sacrificing other players for my own motives, and I don't want to do that, right? Like if somebody joined, like right, like I mean, honestly, it's kind of like any type of fantasy story where you have like a party of heroes going, and each one has their own goals or ambitions, right? Like they're in there for different reasons, and it's the same thing here, right? Like everybody's in here for different reasons, and so I want to honor that and not just be like, oh, well, you don't want to go into heroic, cut them, or I mean mythic, cut them, right? No, like they're here for heroic. We're in heroic. We're gonna see it through, and then hopefully we should have enough afterwards to do mythic. We'll find out.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You just answered a question that I was 100% going to ask you. I'm literally not even joshing you. Like I was literally going to ask if it came down to it, when you're making cuts, does it make more sense to cut someone that doesn't want to do mythic rating versus someone that does, right? And I mean, I think the answer that you gave me was probably pretty good. So, and that's kind of, along the lines. But hey, we'll get back into that stuff. I want to know how your week's been, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my week. So yeah, other than that raid progress you guys got, what else have you been doing this week?
If I'm honest, like nothing super crazy.
Oh, really?
This weekend, dude, after we record, bro, I'm pushing this weekend. So this weekend, I'm trying to push a bit.
That's good.
See what I can get done. My wife was going to be at the beach on Saturday.
Mean WoW, right?
Yeah. So my wife was going to be at the beach on Saturday. So I was planning on like just all day Saturday, just like pumping dungeons, trying to like push towards 12s. And that got changed to Sunday. So now I'll see. Now I'll see what happens. If I end up, still trying to pump dungeons on Sunday. Usually I'm pretty exhausted after I get home from work Sunday. So that might not happen. I might do it a little bit. Might not be the most successful. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. But I'll probably be pushing a little bit today after we record this morning. And then this week I've just been kind of doing some keys, just kind of getting keys done. Practicing. I do need to push up. I think I'm at the point now where I really need to consider the group that I'm playing with. I think up until now, it's just kind of been like pugging, and I can keep pugging. I still have more room to pug, right? Like I'm only in 10s and 11s, so I'm pretty safe to keep pugging. But I know as I push up towards 12s, I just know from last season, I'm gonna want groups that I feel more coordinated with, and so
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why that's been so hard for me. I mean, I'm sure if I sat down and looked at it, I could give you answers, but for some reason, like. I just like, I don't know why. And it's a me thing. It's not an other people thing. It's a me thing. I don't know why I'm not working harder to create groups and like keep consistency with the people I'm playing with, right? Or even at least just pulling people I know so we can communicate and have voice chat while we're running these dungeons. I don't know why I don't do that. Like I know I need to do it. I love the idea of doing it, but then I just don't do it. Some of it might just be that my like schedule to do dungeons is so much less predictable now, right?
That's 100% the reason why.
Right, like 2 years ago, right? Like 2 years ago, I'd just be home by myself every night. And so who cares, right? Like that was like peak me just running WoW content all the time. I'd be at every guild event, right? I'd be hosting super random guild events. Because if I didn't do that, what else was I going to do, right? Just sit around, twiddle my thumbs. And, right? But now it's like, okay, finding time is hard, right? Like when I get time to do some stuff, it's like, okay, sweet. Like right now, like I'm like, oh, sick. I'm excited to like push some keys this morning while my wife's at work and I'm off today because I don't work Friday, she does. But then who the heck in my guild is on running keys? Usually our raid leader Lex is on, but I'm pretty sure like Loki, he's like working from home or something, and he just has WoW up in the background while he's like farming like crafting orders or something, right? So he's not like really playing. He's in the game, but he's kind of just like occasionally clicking some buttons or something, right? Like who's actually like hard gaming Friday morning? So I don't know. I don't know. That's
Probably
part
not
of
a lot.
it. Part of it's that. But I just need to get better at that, of like being intentional with people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a timing thing, right? Like, and that's what it's always been for me. I mean, if I have an hour to do dungeons, which is very typical for me, maybe like an hour, a little over an hour,
Yeah, I'll
right?
log in and be like, oh, I think I can fit one dungeon in.
Yeah, right. And like for me, it's like I could easily just spam pugs and just be like, here, I could get in a key in like maybe 2 minutes, right?
Yep.
But now if I have a key or I want to do a specific key, hey, I got to find a guildmate that has that key, or I need to group up with them. Hey, it might not take that. It might take a little longer to group up with someone. Like, to me, it feels like it takes more time. Honestly, it probably really doesn't. It probably takes like an extra 2 minutes. But to me, those 2 minutes are pretty sacred. And I know it sounds stupid saying it out loud, but it's kind of the truth. So for me, that's always been a big deal. But yeah, I mean, it's easier when you play with a group that you can talk to, right? But I've also not really had too many problems this season with pugs, to be honest, outside of maybe like one.
Yeah. It's
I
not.
think like
It doesn't feel too bad. I think the abandon tool makes it feel a little better. I know people like running at top end, like 15s and up, are like, I hate the abandon tool. It's terrible. Listen,
yeah.
if you're running in the range that we're running and lower, I think 12s and under, I think the abandon tool is fantastic. I don't think, right, I'm thinking about like recent arguments I've heard against it, right? Things like, oh, if you know the dungeon's gonna not be timed, like why even finish it? Like why even complete the dungeon, right? Just dip and find a new one. I get that argument, but the thing is, if the dungeon's not going to be timed, that means that you're not good enough to do that dungeon, right? At that level. That's ultimately what happened. You weren't good enough. You weren't good enough. So for me, it's like, okay, well, how many times do I want to keep throwing myself at this dungeon to learn the mechanics of this dungeon, right? So do I just leave, brick this dude's key? I mean, it's already bricked, but like now it can't even be completed for vault or anything, right?
Like loses crest, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Loses crests, etc., right? Or do I say, hey, look, I want to keep going because I need to learn the mechanics, right? Because what happens, like, okay, so I run the dungeon and we wipe at the first boss and we all leave. Okay, well, I kind of now learned a little bit about the first boss, but now I gotta go run it again, wipe at the second boss, so I can kind of figure out that. And obviously, the boss mechanics are probably the easier parts, probably more trash stuff that becomes the issue. But I'm just using these as examples, right? And they're like, okay, now we left that one. Okay, now we can go try the third boss, right? And why not just be like, okay, you know what? We wiped at the first boss, we came back and we got him down. We're not gonna time it. The clock is done. However, let's use this key to make sure we also know the other mechanics. So rather than needing to run this 4 times before our group is able to do it, we only have to run it 1 time before our group is able to do it. So,
yeah, I mean,
yeah, to me, the abandon tool is great.
Analogy.
Yeah, the abandon tool is great. I think it takes away a lot of the drama too. I haven't had any of that like awkwardness of a dude just like dipping mid pool, or like the big one is like I haven't had anybody just like yelling at us. Like I think that happens where I think players feel so bad being the guy that has to just like hard leave, that instead of like just like asking like, hey, that's the like best I can do, I'm gonna leave, hope you guys are okay, it's just like, you all suck and this is terrible, what are you all doing? And then just like they leave and you're like, okay, that's crazy. The slash abandon kind of gets rid of that because it's anonymous, and so like you don't have to hype yourself up to be the jerk in order to leave. You can just slash abandon.
You're just like, sorry guys, I gotta bounce.
You don't even have to say anything, right? Like nobody knows, right? And most of the time, I don't know if I've ever seen a slash abandon not go through. Maybe one time, and
really,
maybe one time it didn't go through, and we just finished the dungeon. It was whatever, and nobody even said anything. We just finished the dungeon.
You just did it. Yeah, I've only ever had one slash abandon ever, and it obviously went through because we were like, we didn't need, I don't even think we had, no, we did get the first boss down. It was Halls.
Yeah,
we got the first boss down and we just couldn't get the second boss down, and it was like clear that like this dungeon just was not happening.
And the thing with the slash abandon too is when they announced it, I thought for sure, I was like, dude, this is gonna pop up, and people are gonna be like debating with each other whether or not the key should be abandoned. Nah, bro, that thing pops up,
People know.
and it's so fast. It's just so fast. It pops up, and boom, dungeon's over. Like
Yeah,
everybody's
people
slamming
know.
it. But yeah, and nobody wants to really be in a run with other people who don't want to be in that run, right?
That's true.
Um,
That's a good point. Yeah.
Right, and I understand too. Like, yeah, I'm sure the slash ban system has created its own areas of drama or its own awkwardness or like
Oh, 100%.
trapping people in a
100%.
dungeon or something. I'm sure that happens, but like, okay, cool. You got to finish this dungeon because the 4 other people in the group really want to finish it for loot. Wow. Oh my gosh, your life is so hard. Wow. Wow, I mourn over your loss of 15 minutes. I'm sorry. Right? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Just finish dungeon, dude. Just finish the dungeon. It's a team sport.
It's not a big deal. Like, honestly, like people need to get over themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's been my week, which has been good. Like, I don't know, like I'm really enjoying healing. It's been fun. It's been a nice change of pace. It feels a lot easier than tanking to me. And I think that's because I don't have to lead the group and I don't have to feel like I'm showing up knowing the routes. Like, as the healer, there's general things I should be aware of, but it's pretty similar across the board of just knowing what you need to dispel and then helping with anything else that you can help with.
Yeah.
Like where big healing spots are, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not the one setting the pace for the group, right? So it's not like they're going in like, okay, well the tank better do the route that I particularly like. So I don't know. I don't think I've gotten I haven't gotten like insulted once in my keys yet.
That's good.
Which has been nice, right? Like, when I was
really
tanking, dude, it was like once every other week, dude, I get like a nasty comment of like, why this route? Blah 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 blah. So there's something nice about that. Will I ever go back to tanking? Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely I will. But for right now, I'm enjoying healing. I'm trying to get good at it, right? Like, I want to be able to be somebody who like actually can get good at different roles and different things. So I want to keep working at it. Yeah. I probably should work on a DPS at some point that I can be like, oh, I'm good at this DPS. Maybe that will be Remix. Maybe Remix will be my time to be like, oh, hey, I'm just going to like toy with something and then maybe eventually take it more serious. I don't know. Imagine. But that's been my week. What have you been up to, chicken?
Well, it finally happened, dude. Finally happened, baby.
You got Keystone Legend, dude? I saw.
No, I got Keystone Master, dude. It took me so much longer to do it than I thought it would, and I totally mean the guild. So long? What'd you say? What?
Oh, I was just saying, what did you think was taking so long with it?
Oh, well, to be honest, it was a little bit of me. I was a little hesitant to run a little bit of higher keys. But I think the biggest thing that took so long was the fact that I didn't run a single Halls of Atonement. Yeah. And I totally memed the guild over that. People did not even realize that I did not run a Halls of Atonement.
Oh, I noticed. Dude, same thing happened when I... Because I skipped Gambit. I skipped Gambit for my KSM. So I didn't have a single Gambit. And nobody notices. You have to like point it out. Because when you glance at the image... Like, let me scroll up and see yours. Like, when you glance at the image... Oh, you cut yours off completely. So you didn't even include yours.
I cut it off completely. Yeah. But, like, the thing is, like, there's obviously, like, 10s on there. You don't need 10s to get KSM.
Yeah. No, I saw that. I was like, huh. But then I noticed that you were missing. I was like, there's only 7 here.
Oh, you're like, oh, there's only 7 dungeons here. That's weird.
Because I did the same thing. When I pushed for KSM, I skipped Gambit. And I posted and it showed the like not time dungeon.
Like grayed out. Yeah,
the grayed out dungeon. And nobody noticed. Nobody even noticed. That's how little people care about your achievements. They're not even looking. They're just going grats. they see you posted a screenshot, grats.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of funny. I was like, straight meme in the guild. So now I'm trying to get KSH without doing halls. So
that would be interesting.
Yeah,
KSH is a lot harder, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get like all 12s to be honest.
I think
like
higher.
Something like that.
I
What
think
do you
it's
need
higher.
to get KS? What do you need to get KSL is the question. Isn't it like all 13s?
It's like some 13s, like half 13s, half 12s, I think. I know it changed. I know it changed a little bit this season, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm probably gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need like some 13s and at least all 12s to get it. That's the goal.
Dude, I think it might be closer to 14s that you need.
Oh, I don't think so. Because it's a jump from 2,500 to 3,000 IO. There's no way a 13 is more than 500 rating.
I'm going to Mythic Planner right now. You are on Storm Rage, right? Your character's name is what's your? Is it Chick 3N3?
For my DK?
Yeah.
No, it's chicken with the weird like tail on the C.
Oh, dang it! I gotta figure out how to type that. Oh wait, I can go to Raider.io and probably copy it, right? Because Raider.io will account for those. Whoever came up with that for Raider.io, great work. I'm proud of you.
Rats.
Yeah, yeah, I'm proud of you for that. That's impressive work. There we go. Target 2,500. Avoid these dungeons. Halls of Atonement.
The fact that you can avoid dungeons is funny.
Yep. Submit. Yeah. So what you're gonna need if you wanted to get like minimum for
2,500.
2,500. It says the easiest option that you have is to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 12s timed.
6, and then what about the last one? It just doesn't matter.
All this is telling me is based on your current keys, what you need. So I'm assuming it's your 6 lowest point keys all need to be.
Oh, probably, 12. Yeah.
And then whatever that 11 you have is or something can probably stay, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then those all have to be. Now the easiest, if you're like, dude, I just want to speed run Keystone Hero right now. I just want Keystone Hero right this second. You could run Tazavesh Streets, Tazavesh Gambit, and Priory all at 15s, and 2-star them.
Oh my gosh! Shut up.
And then you would have Keystone Hero.
Bruh, imagine.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. But yeah, that's kind of been my week doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been good. I mean, to be honest, there's not too much news that has come out this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it'd be kind of cool to go through like our current thoughts on the season.
Wait, real quick,
we had a question.
I had a thought. Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Because I had done the Gambit thing where I didn't do Gambit, and you're not doing Halls of Atonement. So the reason why I stopped doing that, by the way, the reason why I ended up doing a Gambit wasn't because I just wanted a rating. Like, I didn't care if I got Keystone Hero or not. Like, I didn't, like, it just wasn't that important to me. Cool, I get maybe like a shoulder appearance or something. The reason why I stopped doing it was because I realized that it made my rating look way lower than what my actual skill level was.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just
100%.
wasn't, I was like, wait a second, I think I'm not getting invited to groups because I'm missing like 300 rating right now or something.
Yeah, people were like, what the heck?
Yeah. So I like, that's legit why I went and did Gambit. I went and did Gambit because I was like, I need the rating. So I went and ran like a 10 or something or an 11 or whatever.
Granted, I've found in the past that people... Okay, so this is like a hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
I found in the past that people that either have like really low IO and like have times like 10s and 11s are either really goated or really bad.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what their eye level is, their rating. Like, they could have a 1,500 IO and they've timed like 3 10s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like 690, right?
Yeah.
But they're still like the top DPS on the chart. And then it also goes vice versa where they're like dead half the dungeon.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing for me. It's the unpredictability for me that like that causes me to avoid that. Right? Because the question is like, am I getting the guy who like this is their alt, right? And they're just pumping real fast on their alt. They know these dungeons, they know the mechanics, they know everything. But they just gotta get this character ranked up and geared up, right? That guy's gonna do awesome. And then there's also the question of like, yo, this guy probably shouldn't have even timed those 10s, but maybe they got lucky in some pug groups, or they ran with some friends, right? They got carried a little bit.
Or paid for him.
Yeah, paid. I don't know if that was the case. Maybe, but like for some reason they've got some 10s done that they probably shouldn't have actually been able to get done. But again, WoW is a team sport, right? Not a solo game unless you go into delves, and that's wrong with that. Right. But for me, the hit or miss of that makes it like not worth it to take the risk.
Oh yeah,
right. So when I see that person queue up, I'm like, yo, they've done this on a 10 before, but they're like 500 eye level and 2 rating. I'm like, okay, maybe that's not the person I want. They might be amazing. They might be like absolutely incredible. I just don't know if I want to be the one to take that risk, right? It's too high. Now, when I see somebody that's like, oh, they're all-time 10s, then I'm like, oh, you know what? They've done all these. They've done all these. They've done it 8 times now. The risk is a lot lower, right? And that's the goal. Yeah. The goal is like when you're forming a group, how do you lower the risk? We were talking last week about that poll that went out. That was like, and it seemed less about like an LFG thing and more about like a hey, how do we incentivize people to run their keys and take ownership of their keys? Maybe in an LFG, like an automated solo queue type system. But what was interesting to me was that one of the questions was like, would you be okay with like I'm gonna call it solo queue. I don't remember what the question was. Like an automated system where Blizzard put people in your groups for you that were about the same skill level as you, right? Here's the thing. I don't want that. I do not want, like, if there's a solo queue system, I don't want Blizzard putting people in my group that are about the same skill level as me. When I'm forming groups, I'm like exclusively picking people who are all better than me. That's the secret, by the way. If you're forming a group for a key, only take the people who are better than you. Like, unless you're well overgeared and overranked for that dungeon. Like, if you're trying to run a 10 because you accidentally got your key lowered from a 13. That's not even possible, right? But whatever, right? You got your key lowered, right, all the way down to a 10, and you just got to push it back up real quick. That's one thing, but that's not common. Otherwise, like if you're like, yo, I'm progging 11s right now, dude, just get people who are better than you, right? Like I do that every time. So I thought that was funny. When like they posted that in the questionnaire in the poll. And I'm looking at them I'm like, no, Blizzard, I don't want people about my level. I want people better than me, because that's what I do. I pick people who are better than me. And somebody's listening, and they're like, that's why I don't get invited to groups, because Swag's an elitist, and he won't pick people. No, here's the thing. At the end of the day, only thing I care about is my key being timed. That's what I care about. I mean, I care about people.
That's pretty fair.
But it's like, oh, gosh, this is a terrible analogy, but I'm going to do it. Oof. I'm going to do it. Yesterday, my wife and I are sitting on the couch, and we were ordering out last night, right? Because I wasn't supposed to be home. It was like kind of a little special, so we were gonna like watch some TV and just have like a little quiet moment before raid night and enjoy our time together. And so we're like ordering on the couch, and she's like ordering on the phone, and I hand it to her, and because I know where she's about to do like the checkout process, and I just go, hey, don't tip. Because I know her well enough that, like, anytime she's, like, buying food or, like, getting a drink or something, not like a non-alcoholic drink, like a Starbucks or a coffee or something, right? Or juice or whatever. And the little tip screen pops up. Like, it hurts her not to tip. Like, she has to tip. Like, no matter what.
Like, I got it.
Because she feels bad. She feels bad. The moment that pops up, she feels like a bad person saying no. So I've gotten a habit. It's not like an annoying thing. I've just gotten a habit of like, I'm the one who gets to say no for her, so that she doesn't have to feel guilty about it. She's like, oh, yep, Swag said I can't, so I have to hit no, right? And she's not sitting there walking away going like, oh, I wish I could have given that person money. She's just like, oh, good. She just doesn't like the social stress of being asked that question, right?
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, tip culture.
Right? She tips out of guilt, right? She tips out of guilt, not because
100%,
not because she thinks the guy who literally just like handed her a fountain soda did that much work to hand her a fountain soda, right? Like, it was just, I feel guilty. The question came up. They're staring at me. How do I say no while they're... So I've just got a habit where sometimes I'll lean over and just press no tip. Therefore, now to clarify, if we're out at the restaurant, I'm absolutely tipping. Like, for sure, 100%, right? Like,
Okay, come on.
Now I do think hot take. I do think tipping should go away. Right? Like I think tipping is dumb as a mandatory thing. I think restaurants should just pay their employees a proper wage, build that into the meal cost, and call it a day. And then let somebody tip if it's just like this extraordinary experience, whatever. I guess I don't know. But to me, I don't ever want to be the one deciding what someone else makes. Right? Like I'm here to eat a meal on a date. I don't want to be thinking about your paycheck or like or the bills that you have to pay. Right? Like. I just want to eat my meal.
Swag.
Yeah, TED Talk with swag. All that to say though, right? When I'm forming a group, right? Like I have to have that same mindset of like
you don't want to pity people.
Yeah, I don't want to be pulling people in my groups because I'm like, oh, they could really use this or they really need this. No, like, dude, I'm forming my group. I'm just here. Like, if there's 15 people in the queue, right? I'm just pulling the best ones. Like whoever looks like they have the highest level and rating. Boom, you're in my group. Come on.
If it's the comp, right?
Or if there's like a comp, and I'm not like hard meta comp, right? Like I'm not a hard meta comp, but I do look at the needs that I know I'll have and what I prefer.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Right.
Like obviously a lust and B-res.
So you want to lust?
Well,
I have lust, right? So I don't have to worry about too much of my shaman. Even still, sometimes it's nice having a DPS think about it because I'm not always thinking about when the DPS want to have their lust or whatever. So sometimes it's nice having someone else with it. That's whatever. Making sure I have a battle res. Sometimes I try to take two battle reses. I know on my DK, like when I would tank, I would have another battle res because, man, without fail, the one dude who has the battle res will be the one who dies, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So sometimes I like having,
especially if it's a tank. Yeah, that's the worst. It's a tank.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes I like having a battle res, like two battle reses or one.
I agree.
It just depends. And then like making sure, like, hey, I'm not like all melee or all range. I like to have a balance if I can. Although I've heard good things about the melee comp going on right now.
Interesting. I've not heard that. So
yeah, there's a pretty meta group that's like just melee classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Which is very fascinating.
Yeah. What was that?
It's very fascinating. I think it's like Brewmaster and some other stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. So maybe I'll have to look into it.
I'll have to look it up.
Like a peasant. I've never heard of that. But yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, I don't mind taking someone that's like on the same level as me. Like if it's like, hey, I'm trying to run like an 11 and someone's like all time 10s, like that's fine. But like 100%, if there's like two mages in the group finder, right? And one is like 2,500 IO and the other one's 3,000. No brainer. Not even a question. I would take the 3K.
So I'm looking
100%.
I'm looking at the mythic stats page right now. And so I'm not seeing like an absolute hard line, but what I am seeing for sure, you have Brewmaster, Resto Shaman, right? So Resto Shaman would be your one caster. You kind of have to as a healer. I guess you could have gone, if you want to go true melee, you could have gone Holy Paladin, but I think Resto Shaman probably has a lot of good stuff for like if everybody's grouped up in one spot. Resto Shaman's really good for that,
especially for Lust. And
you need Lust. Yeah, that's probably.
You don't have. There's no melees.
That's 100% what it is, right? Yeah. So Brewmaster, and then you have Resto, and then it's Fury and Feral for sure is what I'm seeing. And no, Fury and Frost for sure, and then people are kind of swapping around between Feral and Havoc. As like extra.
Yeah, dude, Frost is really good, dude. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Frost is kind of nuts.
So basically, Fury, Feral, Frost, and Havoc, they're like kind of swapping between those four.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 3 melee DPS because I guess Brewmaster got that little bit of bump to their buff or whatever. And Resto Shaman probably also offers a really good buff for melee.
Oh, for mastery. Yeah,
so,
dude.
Mastery and extra swing. You get extra swing or something, I think, still.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. No, I played a couple dungeons as Frost, and like low key, I've not played Frost consistently since like Shadowlands.
Yeah.
And it felt really good. It felt kind of like that Shadowlands vibe of Frost that I've always kind of come to know and love. I would like to do more dungeons as Frost. It's like impossible almost to get into dungeons as a DPS in a reasonable time.
I'll have to go find a Brewmaster monk and we can start making our I think they call it the Fizz Comp. Our Fizz Comp
Oh,
team. Yeah. There we
Fizz
go.
Comp.
Fizz Comp. Let's go.
God Comp.
Perfect. All right. Now we got news. Sorry, I postponed us earlier because I kept talking about groups and Group Finder and tipping and tipping culture. But what's been going on, bro? With WoW news right now.
Well, to be honest, there's not a whole ton. There's been a lot of class tuning, some raid balancing, some dungeons nerfs, that kind of deal, which I was kind of shocked. Well, not necessarily. I wasn't shocked. Definitely some big hits, it looked like, to the Demencius fight and the Nexus King fight. I'm assuming that's all on Mythic. Still kind of makes sense. We're still in that kind of like early, Hall of Fame kind of dungeon-esque pool. It's not really necessarily surprising that they did this. So
Yeah.
I'm not shocked at all. Big Halls of Atonement and Arakara nerf. That one I'm a little more shocked about, but not necessarily super shocked.
Yeah. Those totally make sense. I thought they might have just left the dungeons as being really difficult. I'm glad they nerfed it. I think the nerfs were the right move, but I'm kind of with you where I'm like, oh, they actually did it.
I'm a little shocked just because like the Halls of Atonement ones are kind of big. Like they even reducing the enemy the trash pack requirement by 10%. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's kind of a big deal in my opinion.
Yeah,
so,
I mean the problem though is now like it doesn't benefit you at all.
No, dang. I mean, it will at one point. I mean, at some point to get there's no way I get KSL without it. And I think that's the goal for this season, KSL. But yeah, I mean, I'm not super surprised. So that's kind of reassuring.
I do think you're right, though. How they did the nerf, especially for Halls of Atonement, I think is cool. Like, I think that's a cool approach to it. And hopefully it's something that long term Blizzard continues to think about, like creative solutions like these to problems, and not just like tweaking balance of characters, but also going like, oh, hey, we actually put a little too much there. Let's change up what percent's needed, especially this early in the season, right? Like we know because turbo boosting will still be a thing later, that like a lot of the major push, if you're trying to push for title and stuff, a lot of the major push is still to come, which is fine. I think. I think that's a fine thing. Just knowing it's delayed a bit. I mean, really, anyways, like anybody is pushing at the end of the season for title because that's where like the rush is. So I think right now is a really safe time. And also, I don't think Blizzard should design their game around title pushing, right? The idea of title pushing is like, yo, we're trying to push the game to its very limits, right? So no matter what, there's gonna be limits somewhere. Limits will exist. But I do think this will be really good for pretty much everybody who runs that dungeon. Obviously, besides Chicken, because he doesn't. And and I don't think Rack in our Discord does either one of our Patreon supporters. I think he's in the same boat as you. Yeah, I think he's dodged it.
Yeah, Atonement is kind of just weird. It's
I like it.
And it's not that I don't like it. It's just as a tank, I feel weird doing a dungeon that I'm not very familiar with. Hence why I think my streets is really low. I just haven't had a lot of time to get into streets.
Dude, I will say though, I've seen on X, the Everything app, I have seen a lot of trash talk towards tanks regarding Halls of Atonement. Some like memeing, but a lot of it like genuinely just like, I guess, I don't know, man. I guess people, and the fascinating thing to me is rather than people being like, yeah, dude, Halls of Atonement is like a really hard tanking dungeon, Blizzard needs to fix it, their response is just to be like, can you believe this tank brick by key? I'm like, okay, cool.
Yes, dude.
Now you know why we don't have tanks, man. Shut up, dude. Be nice to him, please.
People are terrible, dude. I can't stand it. I mean, it's we mentioned that we haven't gotten a lot of hate in dungeons. To be honest, I haven't gotten a lot of hate in dungeons outside of like one dungeon where like I was clearly part of the problem, but I wasn't the whole problem. Like there was like Gambit that we run that this one guy, it was like an 8-2 to be honest. Like it wasn't anything crazy. And the healer was just like, you guys aren't doing it right. Like we gotta do it this way. And I was like, bro, it's an 8. Like calm down. Like
dude,
he was getting so mad.
Dude, so long as you kill things, you're gonna time that dungeon. Like that's all that matters.
And like to be honest, like we barely timed the dungeon, so I'll give him that. But dude, the guy kept like I don't know what the talent is, but the holy talent or the priest talent where you can just grab someone and move them. Dude, he kept doing that to me, and I was like, bro, like you are about to get like pimp slapped. Like I'm about to just slap you through the screen, dog. Like I was getting so mad. I'm like, dude, like it's an 8. Like come on, like it doesn't matter where we tank this boss. Like oh my goodness. Okay, so some do. Like the second fight is like obviously a pretty big positional fight, but like the first fight and the last one can be fairly easier if you position him right, but it's not required, right? Not as much as the second fight, the dragon, right? But like I'm like, dude, like this guy is like, oh my gosh,
dude. Some people are just, oh, dude, man. I wish. Because you know how they have like the deserter thing now that shows up, which I haven't even seen anybody queue for my dungeons as a deserter, which is
I've seen it. I've seen it.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's like a thing, and it's funny because I'm sure if I was running like 15s, you'd probably see it everywhere. Like at that point, people probably don't even care, right? It's probably more suspicious if you don't have the deserter badge, right? But for the level we run, you really shouldn't be deserting keys. Not for 10s. Not for 10s.
No, not for 10s.
I'm gonna be pushing up soon, so maybe that'll change, but whatever. But yeah, I don't remember what else I had to say. Oh well, that was it.
Yeah.
All right, good podcast. We'll see you next week.
Good podcast. No, they had some other than just dungeon changes, raid changes. They got some good class buffs in here. Looks like Hunter's getting some love. Blood DK got some love.
Did you hear? Sorry, I'm loud. I'm like, did you hear what was going on with Hunters?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude. The freaking Beastmaster Hunters sandbagged. They didn't actually sandbag, but it was dumb. It's so dumb. Okay, you ready? You ready for this? You ready?
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
All right, you holding your seat?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, Hunters, Beastmaster Hunters, let me clarify. Not all Hunters, just the Beastmaster Hunters. They were needing a little bit of a buff. They're needing a little bit of a buff. Nobody was playing Dark Ranger at all. And the other one, the actual beastie one, was okay. It wasn't great, right? And so they get a buff, and they get a pretty big buff to the Dark Ranger hero talent build as well. Turns out,
they definitely did. Yeah.
Turns out, no one had even been like theory crafting the freaking Dark Ranger like talent build. And they found an entire talent build in there that had never been like thought of before. And so now they have this like Giga Chad talent build with Dark Ranger because they legit just didn't know it was an option. And it wasn't like, oh, they buffed it and made it viable. It was already very viable before they buffed it. Nobody just knew nobody knew it was possible.
Interesting. Hey, I'm going to say it. This might get some hate, and this isn't everyone that plays Beastmaster Hunter. This is not everyone. Don't hate me for saying this, but that's like come on. We all know. That's like the cheese class, right?
I don't know, man. Dude, I'm feeling pretty cheese right now playing Whispering Waves Resto Shaman. My two spells, infinite mana.
Yeah, I know. That's fair. There are definitely some cheese classes, but I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I just feel like people that play Beastmaster are like cheesing.
I will say though, okay. To be fair to what you're saying.
Which to be honest, I shouldn't say that because I've never played it, so yeah. I don't know if I have room to say that.
Well, to be fair, if I'm going to be logical with what you're saying, the truth is that Beastmaster is designed to be a more easily accessible spec to play in the game. Okay. So if you are a newer player and you want to have an easier time learning the game, Beastmaster for sure is actually what you want to play. Like 100%. It is designed for that. Like it is actually designed to be an easier entry point. I think Ret Pally might also kind of be that as well. Where Ret Pally's designed. to be an easier
red is
entry,
not too
easier
bad
class
either.
to play, easier entry point. With that said, though, we're still talking about World of Warcraft here, and so like,
Oh, it's hard.
dude,
Yeah,
I've met
it's not easy.
some incredible players who play Beastmaster, incredible players who
Oh
play
yeah, yeah.
Red
No, I
Paladin,
have
right?
to.
Being easy doesn't mean that it's simple or bad. Easy just means, hey, it's designed to be a little bit easier for players to learn, right? The flip side of that would be like
Exactly.
an arcane mage, right? Like Blizzard,
Yeah, oh,
Blizzard
yeah.
likes, because again, everybody wants something different. Some people want hyper complexity, and some people want
Yeah.
hyper simplicity.
High risk, high reward, right?
Yeah. Except the crappy part is that like Blizzard can't reward you more, because then the people who only want a 2-button rotation, like me, will get really mad that they can't keep up with the person who needs to know like 12 different modifiers and have a 17-button rotation, and they have to call their grandmother mid-pool in order to get bonus output. So
Sure.
yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair, but like even you saying what you just said of like, oh hey, people that played Beastmaster didn't even realize this was a thing. I'm like, come on guys, come on
guys. Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, like if you're playing a Beastmaster Hunter, you want your pets. I know you're playing it because you want your pets.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
of course you're gonna do like pack leader, right? I think that's what it's called, right? Pack leader.
That's
hero
true.
Talent
That's
build
fair.
instead of the Dark Ranger hero talent build. And then did you hear about the recent allies thing coming in 11.2.5?
To be honest, I didn't hear about it until like an hour ago, when we started filming, or right before we started filming.
Makes sense.
And I was just about to segue into that. No, I mean it looks kind of neat. It looks like it was announced kind of when they talked a lot of big 11.2.5 stuff, and I think we just kind of missed it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean it's kind of a neat concept for people that enjoy pugging, and I've never been opposed to like adding people on BNet that I don't actually physically know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never have. Like I've never been in a group where someone's like, oh hey, like let's play together sometime, and I'm like, yeah. But I think it's a cool concept. Like I genuinely think it's something that I'm honestly surprised isn't already a part of the game. If you want me to be honest,
I need to start adding notes to people when I add them as friends, because my problem is I'll be like, oh, this guy's good, I'll add him, and then I'll see it like 2 weeks later and be like, who the heck is this guy?
Who is this guy?
I got no.
Right?
Like I need to go through. I need to go through and just start deleting people out of my BNet, because I just don't know who they are at all. I've like no.
And then just like re-adding. Yeah.
I have like no concept. I'm like, I don't know. Like, and I don't know what they play. I don't know what they were good at. Like what role they were doing. Right. But anyway, so the recent allies thing, for anybody who is not aware, let me explain what it is. Basically, there will be a new tab in your social menu called Recent Allies. And so you can go there, kind of like where your Friends tab would be, but you go to the Recent Allies tab, and it'll show you characters and players that you played with recently in content. Maybe it was Raid, maybe it was Dungeons. That's probably about the extent of it, is Raids and Dungeons. I don't know.
Delves?
What else?
Delves?
Yeah, but when was the last time you grouped up with a stranger to do a delve? I don't know if anybody in the history of ever has grouped up with a stranger to do a delve. But
Hold on. I'm actually. Never mind. Yeah. I'm not even gonna bring up this point. No, I can't. This is straight cheesing.
Okay. Well, now you have to. Now you have to.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. I typically just have WoW up when we record, because I like to just be able to, like, if I need a reference like Dungeons, like, and I just can't remember it, like I'll just pull up the adventure guide, stuff like that. I typically just sit and door and go away. But I just looked. I was like, oh, that's not true. I want to see how many people are in Delves Rayfinder. And granted, it is 8:30 in the morning on the East Coast, so maybe it'd be different at like a nighttime. But yeah, there's only 2 people listed there, public delves. So.
Yeah. Hot take: if you're listing to do a delve with somebody, then I could probably teach you. I don't even do delves, and I could probably teach you how to do your delves better. Nothing against it. It's just,
my gosh,
dude, I heal, bro. I heal delves.
True.
Oh my gosh, it's so easy, dude. It's so easy. You just run in, you just spam heal Bran, like just spam heal.
Just like pumps.
And don't think of it as like topping off somebody. Like sometimes, like when I'm dungeon healing, I'll let somebody get to like 50% health before I heal them up, right? Because I'm trying to be like thoughtful in my healing and not like wasting mana and all this stuff. When I'm in a delve though, dude, I'm just spamming Bran. Like go to Whispering Waves build, so you just have infinite mana, and then just spam Bran. Because the more
So
you
just
heal him and
bomb.
overheal him, he'll just pump. But you have to like just be nonstop healing him, and he'll destroy that place.
Like he just like freaking goes berserk.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so the recent allies thing seems cool because there are times I've like run with a group and then like a minute later I'm like, oh dude, that guy was good. I should have added them. Or they like bounced. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's early. They bounced too fast, and so I just didn't have a chance to add them. So that's like not a bad option. It also says like if you list like your dungeon or something or your raid or whatever, and people are queuing into it, recent allies will show up as like yellow or something now. So you can be like, oh, I just ran with that guy. Like they were solid. Cool. Like let me bring him back in.
Yeah.
I'm guessing vice versa too. They'll probably see like your key list or something.
Yeah. No, that's honestly, I think that's a really good thing. I'm like I said, I'm genuinely surprised that it hasn't already been added to the game, to be honest.
Yeah, there's generally no huge negative to it other than let's say you ran a dungeon and somebody got real angry with you in that dungeon and you blocked them, but they weren't happy with that, or you were ignoring their whispers or something, so then they tried to find you in the overworld somewhere, right? Well, Guess what? They did also just announce like 2 days ago an update to the recent allies list where you can now turn off location sharing, and if you need to.
Oh, that's good.
Recent allies list. So there's that. There is that. And then I think more power scaling is coming for Legion Remix, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. So, I to be honest, a lot of this doesn't mean anything to me. There's a few things that obviously do, but yeah, it seems like the recent, backlash we've gotten from the community saying like, hey, Legion Remix is nothing like Mop Remix, and that's a problem. And it's basically like they just want to be able to go into like a +20 and just like one hit everything. And like if that's what you want, like to me, I feel like it's kind of hard for Blizzard to say like, no, like we didn't really like that about Mop Remix and we want to make Legion Remix different. How do they do that? Like I feel like they can't. Like in my opinion, I feel like they just have to like listen to the community. Like I don't know.
I think the hard thing is like I didn't love Mop Remix, to be honest. I thought conceptually I was ready to love it. I was ready to love Mop Remix. And I think the fast leveling is good, like the generally somewhat fast leveling. Although I will say Legion has such a good story that I think they want you to kind of maybe level a little bit slower through to kind of get through some of the story, which totally makes sense. Totally vibe with that. I don't know if they love that Remix was just used as like a power leveling feature, right?
Oh, 100% was.
I don't think that's what it was intended. I don't think that's what they actually intended to be. I think that's what it became. It was just like, here's our super hyper power leveling feature. Go, right? I don't know. It almost broke the game and made leveling in retail feel stupid for a while. And I don't think that's healthy for the game. I don't love that people just spammed frogs right at the start and got giga strong, and then all content after that was pointless, right? I don't love that.
100%, yep.
And I think some of the things that they're changing that everyone else dislikes, I'm actually a fan of. People are really mad that they're time gating the content, right? So Legion Remix won't just have every raid available right off the bat. Okay, isn't that like that's a good thing? Like take your time. For some reason, WoW players just feel this need to be like, oh, I gotta have access to absolutely everything and anything right at the very start, or else it's not fun to me. It's like, okay, dude, like why? Like maybe go talk to a therapist and find out why having any spare time in your life is a scary thing, right? Like it's okay. It's okay not to feel like you have to be logged into WoW 24/7. Like it's okay to be like, oh, hey, look, I got the raid done and everything I want in Remix. I'm going to log off for a bit. I actually think Remix is at its worst when it's encouraging you to play nonstop, or else everyone else will get ahead of you. I don't think that's enjoyable content. I just don't. Right? Like, I don't know. No,
I mean, I don't disagree. To me, it was kind of like, for me, I really wanted to get to the max level and get Mythic Siege down, because I never had done Mythic Siege or really Siege in general. So to me, that was kind of my major goal with Mop Remix. But then at the same time, like towards the end of just trying to like get to the like the highest level, it just felt so bad. Like it was like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, this just feels like a chore almost.
Yep.
And it was basically like Mop Remix to me was basically like this giant like peak, like a huge ramp up peak, and then it kind of stayed there for a little bit and it like went down a little bit and then it just straight dropped off. Like it was pretty bad in my opinion.
Yep.
But I think that's what people liked, which is kind of crappy, but I mean, I think
right? Yeah.
yeah, no, exactly. It is what it is, right? I mean, will it keep me from playing Legion Remix? No. I'll still play it.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but
yeah, for sure. All right, before we get to some listener questions though, we got a few things we need to talk about with everybody listening to the podcast. A few ways that you can support the podcast and a few opportunities for you as well. Number one, we just want to let you know that Chicken and I are a part of a guild that we absolutely love called Astra. It's not a podcast guild, right? It's not a guild for podcast listeners. It's just a guild that we're in that we love. And if you're looking for a guild that is a non-toxic space, is a great way to learn new content that maybe prior you've been a little too scared to learn, we would love to get you into our guild. On Saturdays, we have what we call Academy Raid, where it's a raid event that you can learn how to raid in. It's a very beginner-friendly event. On Sundays, we actually have a Mythic Keys event where we form groups for everybody ahead of the event. And all you have to do is show up, pop into your group, and run keys at any level. No experience needed. So if you've never even run a key before, we can get you into a group learning how to run keys. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. And, of course, plenty of other social events and things that go on. So if you're looking for a guild, we always encourage you to join Astra. To respect our guild, we don't post the direct link to the Discord for the guild. Instead, you can join the Warband's Discord. Oops, I'm sneezing over there. You can join the Warband's Discord, and then just ask for an invite to the guild from there, and we can get you set up and plugged in. Also, we want to talk to you about our Patreon. Our Patreon is one of the best ways to support the podcast financially. It is just a huge help for us doing things and pulling stuff off and being able to create some stuff that we are very, very excited for. We have some things in the works, but the Patreon doesn't just benefit Chicken and I with the podcast. It also benefits you. You get bonus content every week, for the most part. You get access to live podcast recordings where you can actually ask your questions live with us, or give commentary on the podcast as it's being recorded live, which can be a lot of fun as well, and including some other perks like special Discord access and priority on our weekly podcast questions. So podcast listeners will get priority when they ask questions on the podcast. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Zygor. Zygor is a WoW guide system that has guides for retail, classic, Mists of Pandaria, whatever you're looking to do in World of Warcraft. Zygor can probably help, whether it's leveling, collecting gold, professions, achievements. It's got it all. And so if you're looking for some support, you actually get 20% off whenever you use code SWAGLOCK with Zygor. So we'll leave a link to their website, and thank you for helping be a sponsor of our podcast. With that said, we've got some listener questions that we are super, super, super excited to get to. So the first listener question actually came in right after we recorded the last episode, but before we posted the last episode. So I felt bad making Biggin wait all this while before getting to his question, but we finally got to it. Biggin said, buddy, if I wanted to learn how to start tanking on one of my characters, what would be the best way of learning? I know the Mythic Plus scene is on the toxic side. I mean, I can watch videos and guides, but experience comes by hands-on play.
Yeah, this is kind of a hard question, to be honest. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, it's to me, you kind of got to look at it like learning a DPS. It's similar to learning like a rotation. There's like obviously core things that you need to learn. In my honest opinion, I was thinking about this question this morning before we actually started recording, and I would actually not do a Well, if you're gonna do like if you want to just jump in and start doing like dungeons and things like that to kind of gain like hands-on experience, definitely starting like heroic or even like follower dungeons. But I think maybe even a better play at this, and maybe Swag, kind of give your opinion on this after, because I want to see your thoughts
Mm-hmm.
on this comment that I'm about to give.
Yeah.
I would jump in like an LFR as a tank, because I think tanking in raid still kind of gives you the core things that you need to learn as a tank. Like I think of three big ones being like positioning, taking defensives and taking big hits, and then obviously threat is a huge one, and threat's pretty easy to learn when you have a raid, because you're kind of just most raid fights you're swapping threat between the two tanks pretty consistently. So it kind of helps you learn those three, I think, major keys of being a tank. But it's a little bit harder when you get into an actual Mythic Plus, because threat and trash is a lot different than threat and one boss. But I mean, that's kind of where I would start. Just start with low content and just work your way up. To be honest, I would start with a tank class that you might feel more familiar with a DPS class in, like if you are, if you play a lot of Frost DK, like I would definitely suggest Blood, because you're kind of already used to doing death strikes, and you're kind of used to having grips and the general like feel of the class. Same if you're playing like Fury Warrior or Vengeance, or Havoc, sorry. Ret Pally, right? I think that would probably be another key thing. But yeah, I mean, what do you think? What are your initial thoughts, Swag? Because I know you're itching to answer this question.
Yeah. So I got a few thoughts. It kind of depends on where the question's coming from, right? So if you're like, yo, I've never done any M plus, I've never really rated, I barely I just want to know how to play a tank. That's a different thing than like, yo, I've done some dungeons and I've done some raids as a DPS or a healer, and now I'm ready to try out tanking, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
If you're coming in super familiar with these dungeons, then you're probably fine to start jumping into some plus twos and just try it out, right? Especially if you've done them on like Mythic plus higher levels than that as like a DPS or a healer. But let's say I'm gonna answer the question hypothetically. Let's say you're coming in, and you're like, you're wanting to get in, but you don't actually have any M plus experience, right? But you want to try it out. You don't have a lot of raid experience, but you want to try it out, right? So my thoughts are, as Chicken said, raid tanking I think is a lot easier than dungeon tanking, for sure. Raid tanking actually is like too easy, and what I mean by that is, I think Blizzard wants to find a way to make it more of a challenge, but it's really hard to make raid tanking a challenge in the same way that M plus tanking is a challenge. Because M plus tanking is not really about the boss fights. It's about like how you handle all the trash, and how you stack up the trash, and how you like make sure that you're grabbing the right things that your group can handle. So what I would say is, if you're trying to go in, if you feel like you're geared enough for M plus right now, and that's where you want to kind of get into, and that's what you referenced in your question. Because I know the M plus scene is a little bit on the toxic side, right? I do think the lower keys for M plus are pretty safe, right? Like your 2 through 4 keys, people are going to be very, very forgiving in those keys. But you could also go into M0. Like there's like people in M0 are like super patient. So if you went into an M0 and just said, hey guys, I'm practicing a Mythic Plus route, so if we pull a little more than you normally would for an M0, just know I'm practicing for M plus, right? And then what I would do is pull up Keystone Guru. So it's a website, keystone.guru, and find a route for the dungeon that you want to do, right? So you would just you go to the website, you click the Discover Routes button. I'm going to click Tazavesh right now while I'm recording this. And then it brings up a bunch of routes. And the first route is literally just called Pug Friendly. And it's suggested for +2 to +11 keys, right? That's the route you want to do. You're going to see something that's like Expert Raider IOs, and it's like 12 to 25 keys, right? You don't want that, right? Because that route is reliant on the group knowing how to do a bunch of really specific, kind of complicated things. You want the one that's like, okay, this might take a little bit longer, but it's a lot safer, and we can risk that extra time because things will die a little bit faster because it's a lower key, and whatnot. So what you want to do is pull that up, and then when you pull up the map, it's going to show you what needs to get pulled and how, right? So in this one, Gambit's kind of a funny key. I wouldn't start with Gambit because the opening section of Gambit is
I
kind
would
of.
start with Gambit.
I love it. Once you get used to it as a tank, you'll love it. It is a blast. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it is.
However, if you look at the map for it, it looks confusing as heck. So I wouldn't start with that, right? I would say a good tank dungeon maybe to start on. Let me pull up the dungeon list again just so I can visually see it. A good tank dungeon to start on though might be something like Arakara. Arakara might be a good starting tank dungeon.
I was gonna say Echo. Echo, I think is a pretty safe tank dungeon. To be honest, I don't think it's too bad. Like the boss mechanics aren't terrible.
Echo Dome's a pretty good tank dungeon too. I think. I'm just trying to think of like what dungeons like are pretty straightforward and don't have like weird pulls that they expect. And as you're learning, it's safe to even take those, especially in low keys, to take those pug friendly routes and even split some of those pulls down into smaller pulls if you want. But what I would do is I would go to Keystone Guru. I would find a route. If you really don't feel comfortable trying it out in a +2, try it out in an M0, right? M0 just means it's a mythic dungeon with no keystone modifier added to it. There's no timeline for it. You just go in, and people are usually very patient when they run those. That would be my advice. The hard thing about tanking isn't actually learning how to tank, right? Tanking itself is fairly easy. The hard thing about tanking is, leading your team and like leading the route and like deciding where to go. Another option too is run with somebody who knows the dungeon and have them ping what you need to pull. That's something we do a lot as a guild, where when we run our our M+ weekly event, we'll get tanks who are like, hey, I can sign up, but I have like almost no dungeon experience. And so we'll just have somebody in their group who, as they're running along, that person's just pinging what should get pulled next. But I think Keystone Guru is just such a good tool that I would use that. So my advice is less on how to play a tank. Chicken gave some good advice on playing tank and getting good at playing tank. My advice right now is just on like learning how to do routes. That's a big deal. Also, if I was to give one piece of playing advice, use your defensives all the time. Like all the time. When I first started tanking, I was like, oh, I save these for emergencies. And then I'd like use it like 2 times in the dungeon or something. Just use them all the time. It's a good habit. It's a good habit to get into. Cooldowns are meant to be on cooldown.
Yep. That's that's super safe.
Yep.
Like the safest thing I've heard all day.
All right. On to the next question coming from Raging Ridge 83. Question for the pod. What excites you about player housing? I've never had any interest in player housing, and I don't understand the appeal.
Oof. Yeah, again, this was another question I was kind of thinking about this morning before we started recording. Yeah. And, my initial thought was, and this is, I've never said this on the podcast, so bear with me with what might be one of the hottest takes of your life right now. I don't disagree with this necessarily. Like, to me, I don't have a huge appeal for player housing. Player housing to me isn't like I have to do this. Like, I really want to do this kind of deal. Player housing to me, I think, is more like, oh, this sounds like fun. And I think it's interesting. And I'm more interested to see how it changes the overall gameplay of WoW itself. Not more or less, hey, how is this going to, be fun for me? And how am I going to, implement this into the game? It's more like, hey, how is the game going to change for me as I play this? Does it mean, zones, I'm thinking of like what, oh my goodness, what is it called for next season? Silvermoon. Mm-hmm. Is Silvermoon going to be less populated with player housing? Or people more going to stay at their house? Are going to stay at their towns, if you will, with their guildmates, things like that.
Or are they just going to hide in the horde only section?
What was that?
Or are they all just going to hide in the horde only section?
Yeah, or yeah, like things like that. Like, to me, that's what I think about. Like, personally, for me, I might mess with player housing for like a day or two, right? I'm not going to get tied up in like, oh, like I really want to do player housing. For me, it's more just, hey, I think this is kind of cool gameplay that I can mess around with for a little bit and see what it's like, right? I think it's a big deal for a lot of players, and for those players, I'm super happy. Like, I really want those players to have this, right? But
Yeah.
to me, it's like it's not a big enough thing that I'm like I'm all in on this. Like, to me, I like it. It's just not going to be the core of my gameplay. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. And I think that's fair, by the way. I think it's totally fair for there to be elements of the game that just don't hold any value for you. I mean, that's the nature of World of Warcraft. Like I could care, dude. If crafting disappeared tomorrow, I could care less. I could literally care less. Like, would not bother me, right? And some people will go, but don't you like having flasks and and crafted weapons and things? No, actually, no, actually, I don't. I don't love having to think about going and buying all these extra things just because they exist, because it makes another player happy that they got to craft it for me.
I mean, they would just
right.
Yeah.
Now nobody would have those things, and so it just becomes something I don't have to worry about, right? Like, I only buy them because someone else has them, and if they have them and I don't, then I look bad. So
I agree.
So right, I could care less. Dude, I was listening to. It's funny. I listened to some podcasts that talk about delves, and they're just like, we don't know why delves even exist. It seems like a failure in the game, and the reality is, but no, dude, there's tons of players out there who love delves. Who freaking love delves. That's all they do is delves, right? And they're so thrilled to finally get rid of Brand next season and have a new delve guide with them. But that doesn't mean delves are for everybody, right? And just because it's not 100%. For you doesn't mean it's bad gameplay. So I want to clarify that, right? Because I just want to clarify, like, it's okay not to love everything in WoW. WoW is so diverse that, like, it's actually designed for you to, like, not do every stinking aspect of it, unless you're crazy, right? You know, because I do know some people probably do try to get every bit, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
dude,
that's okay.
But there's plenty of players out there that could care less about M+, right? That the idea of, like, pushing title range, that means nothing to. I mean, that means nothing to me, but it means nothing to them, right? Who don't have interest in raiding, right? Like, raiding is just too many people. It's too complicated, right? Like, all these things, right? Like, so the reality is I just want to lay that groundwork before I say what I'm about to say, because I love delves, and I don't want you to think that because I love delves that you're missing something, that you're like, I must be missing something because I don't love delves. No, you just don't love delves, and that's fair. Like, that's fair, right? Now, to what I'm about to say, I am so thrilled for player housing. I think player housing is going to be super fun. I think but for me, player housing is going to be fun because I love the idea of having a space that I can design. I like the creativity of it. I like the artistic element of it, right? I'm definitely a little bit more of a creative naturally, I think. I like building things. And the idea of being able to have more things I can collect that can be displayed is exciting. I love displaying things, right? Like transmog, toys, whatever, right? Like pets, mounts. I love being able to show off the things I've done in the game and things I've collected and things I've gotten. And for people to be like, oh, where'd you get that? How'd you get that? That's cool. I love that idea. I love the idea of having the RPG element of, like, yo, my character has a home, right? Like my character, like, this is their home, and their home's going to be kind of designed after them a little bit, and the things that they would be interested in. And then when I walk outside, guess what? My guildmates are around. Like there's friends here, right? There's people here that I care about. So to me, player housing is actually, like, one of the coolest things I've seen them add to the game in a while, and one of the things that I've, like, been the most impatient to, like, see show up. So I've been hyped, but again, it's that collector in me, right? Like, I joke sometimes that World of Warcraft is just adult Club Penguin for adults, right? And the joke is literally just like, dude, we everybody, like, just wants to collect and show off things. Sometimes the collect and show off is like, yo, I got title, let me show it off. I got cutting edge, let me show it off, right? And sometimes it's just like, yo, look, I made a really cool looking house, or my transmog's kind of cool. What do you think, right? I think transmog is one of the best parts of World of Warcraft. I think, like, I joke that transmog is, like, the real reason people play the game. But I also know plenty of people who, like, don't think twice about the transmog. They're just like, here's a transmog. I don't look terrible. I want to go run dungeons. That's the nature of the game. If it's not appealing to you, don't feel like you're missing out on something. Just pursue that. Don't force yourself to do something you don't enjoy doing. Right? Find the parts of the game that you love and just focus on those. Right? Like, I don't do delves because I don't think delves are fun. It's not enjoyable content. My time's limited. I don't do professions. I don't think it's fun content. My time is limited. So find the things that you are excited to do and focus on those.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. Next question coming in from Rollis. Now that the Legion remix gets hard mode world content, what are your thoughts on how much they should iterate this to retail? I would love to see a scaling, maybe infinite system where you can level through and up the difficulty of the world while you're doing it. I would love to see a combination of Diablo scaling, world content, and maybe the Call of Duty Prestige system, being a higher rank / Prestige, would be giving higher rewards. I would say that the rewards should mainly be cosmetic and not too much player power based to not make this grind mandatory. So, yeah, right. Like what kind of rewards do you do? You know, so I'll give my initial thoughts on this one, Rollis. I think if it works in Legion Remix, I think it's a no-brainer to add it to Classic. Or not to Classic, to Retail. Again,
Yep.
My whole thing is like, what's the content people enjoy doing? Do people enjoy world content? I don't personally care too much, but I know some people love it, right? And if you and world content is generally solo content, right? So if they could make a hard mode of world content that offered better rewards than what world content does now, that might give more growth for other people. Would I ever do it? No, probably not. I'd probably never touch it. But if someone else is enjoying it, like, that's awesome. Like, and if it's easy enough for Blizzard to add into the game where like all they have to do is just like crank up a couple numbers, be like, hey, everything goes up by 50%, 100%, right? Hey, you know, all the enemies' health and damage goes up by 100%. Have fun. Here you go. And now it drops, I don't know, one rank below heroic gear, whatever that is. Champion, right? Now it drops champion gear or something. Awesome. Cool. That's great. I love it. I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. Like maybe you get like a heroic piece every week or something from it too, right? Like a hero piece. I'd have no problem with that. I don't mind it being a power thing. I don't think it has to be purely cosmetic. It could be, right? It could be cosmetic. But I think more difficult content is fair to have more difficult rewards. I don't think I would be a fan of infinitely scaling, because then you're really siloing players. So right, I would just have like a one-up more difficult option, rather than infinitely scaling option, if that makes sense.
Yeah, infinitely scaling feels kind of weird for world content, to be honest.
Yeah,
I like the hard mode aspect.
Yeah, it also becomes tough because there hits a point where the only way you can do it is as a tank.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you can only do it as a tank, right? So they have to be careful. I mean, that's the point of brand. Brand exists in Delves because brand's the balance for the classes and specs and roles.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, last question coming in from Spooderman. Do you think we will ever get a Shaman tank spec? I love the Shaman as a class, but I can't tank on it, so I play Paladin to get my tank fix in. All right, Chicken, you know I got lots of thoughts on this one. I'll let you start.
Dude, this question was meant for you, dude. I don't even know why. I'm not even going to say anything. This is your question, dude. All
right, so Spooderman, here's my answer. Do I think we will ever get a Shaman tank spec? Sadly, I don't think we will. With that said, I don't know how familiar you are with WoW lore, story, the history of World of Warcraft, etc. When WoW first came out, though, Shamans were kind of a pseudo tank. You could talent just right in enhancement, and you could tank dungeons, and you could even off tank for raid. It was like a genuinely viable. Was it a great tank? No, but it was viable. It could work in situations, and I would do that all the time. I loved Shaman tanking back then. I just thought it was fun. It was weird, and it was fun, and you built up a lot of aggro with your totems. It was cool. I want it to come back. With everything in me, I want Shaman tanking to come back. If Shaman tanking came back, I'd be the first one to swap my spec to Shaman tank. I want
tomorrow.
It. I joke about it all the time. Chicken will tell you, like, not a raid night goes by that I don't joke about Shaman tanks. I deeply want them to come back. I just don't think we'll see it happen. I would love to see it happen. I just don't think we will. I think right now, because they added a spec to Demon Hunters, and they had last expansion added an extra spec to Drakthir, that people are like, yo, when are we going to get more specs on other classes? But I think the truth is, I think Blizzard's very happy with 3 specs per class. Obviously, Druid being the exception to that.
Yep.
And Druid originally was 3, by the way. Druid was 3 specs.
Yeah.
But similar to Shaman, depending on how you talented, you could either go like a bear tank or like a DPS cat. And those were both of them were so viable and so powerful and so distinctly unique that it really just kind of was like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna make these 2 separate specs when we read their talent trees.
That makes sense.
Right. For Shaman though, it wasn't like that. For Shaman, it was like, hey, here's an enhancement Shaman, and then hey, here's an enhancement Shaman that can kind of pull more aggro. And that was really it, right? It was like it was really the same thing, but one was like a little tankier and could hold more aggro. It wasn't like these 2 distinct identities and playstyles that existed separately, but under the same talent tree, like Guardian and Feral did. I believe both of them were just under. It was called Feral only at the time, and then Guardian was what they broke Bear off into. So, but I would love to see it happen. I just don't think we're gonna see Blizzard want to add more specs. Augmentation Evoker, I think, was planned from the moment Evoker was created. I think they knew what they were doing. I think they thought it would build hype, so they did it that way. Maybe they wanted more time to finish polishing off the spec. I don't know. I suspect it was just part of the story that they wanted to tell. For Demon Hunter, I think they wanted 3 specs for Demon Hunter for a long time. And it's been probably really hard for Blizzard to figure out exactly how to do that right.
Yeah.
Because Demon Hunter's a hard one where there's not enough uniqueness to Demon Hunter within the right, because you literally only had Illidan. Illidan was like the only Demon Hunter that existed. And so it was hard to be like, well, you know, like here are 3 different specs based on demon. Because you look at anything else like Mage, Frost, Fire, Arcane. Okay, those are all 3 distinctly unique, right? And we see mages of those types, right? You look at Rogue, right? And Rogue's kind of got this like outlaw. You got the assassin. You got the subtlety rogue, right? Like they're all different. Even Hunter, right? Beastmaster, marksmanship. These are all different specs, but we see them in characters through Warcraft story, right? But Demon Hunter really only had Illidan, and so it's hard to make like more than 2 based off of Illidan, right? And they even had to stretch a little bit and be like, you know, like the tank one, right? So I think they finally had a way to be like, oh hey, here's another Demon Hunter, and it allows them to also long term start the conversation of like, okay, well, how do we add other races as Demon Hunters, right? So I do think that was gonna happen at some point. My gut tells me Shaman Tank won't happen, but if anybody from Blizzard's listening right now, I would love it too. Please make it happen. I want it so bad. Do it, please. All right, well. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the podcast today. We are so excited to be able to record and be with you. We are excited for another guest episode. Is next week our next guest episode? Is that correct?
Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
We got the biggest guest of all time.
The biggest guest of all time. We will find out who that is soon, and then you will find out next week. So there we go. But everyone, thank you for listening, and we will see you soon.
See ya. Woo.